and rarely ventures into the modern world. She swapped lives with 21st century mom Lisa Haggerty, a teacher who juggles 2 jobs and hardly ever sees her kids. For the first week, the wives must live by their new family's rules. Later, they get to make some changes. It's the moment of truth. The new wives are about to come face to face with their new husbands and children.
Welcome to our home. Guys, how are you?
I'm Jules.
How you doing?
Yes, and Justice.
Look at you guys. Mr. Damon. Hey, Damon.
And you are?
I'm Stephanie.
Absolutely. I know what your name is.
My name is Lisa.
Well, have a seat. Let's get to know each other.
Well, right now, I just want to know, where in the world did you come from?
I'm not going to say that.
What do you do for a living?
I'm not going to answer that question.
When I first met Stephanie, it seemed like she was hiding something. I was like, man, what's wrong with this woman right here?
Would you quit looking at me like that? I won't hurt you. When I met the new family, I didn't tell them about any of our medieval involvement because I want it to be a really big surprise.
My wife treats me as a king.
Yeah, I
She
read
does.
that.
She takes care of all the household duties. You go do some middle-age cooking. Have you ever seen a rutabaga?
I just thought this was the kookiest family I could ever be going to. And that just doesn't sit right with me.
In Florida, Stephanie, who treats her husband like a king, is having trouble with the concept of being catered to by a man.
Do you usually do the cooking?
I do a majority of it.
Do you think you would like Lisa to cook for you?
Yeah, just a little bit.
You really need to pamper your guy. Maybe she'll learn a little bit in my house.
Greg has decreed there be a medieval feast for the gentlefolk of the Kingdom of Ohio. And Lisa must dress for her role.
I'm not wearing that. I ain't wearing this either. Here I am.
Are you ready to cook?
And as the lady of the manor, it's her duty to prepare a luxurious medieval banquet of meat and parsnips.
It's my first night in the house, and I'm giving this party, but I have to cook for it? What kind of crap is that? Your food?
Thank you.
You're welcome. I could never imagine myself living this way, but I could never have imagined that anybody else lived this way either.
In Florida, it's the first morning of the swap, and Stephanie's busy day starts with having to oversee the young Haggerty's chore schedule.
Victoria, I think you need to finish up the dishes that are in the rack. I really think there's too much structure here. Give them a little room to make their own decisions. It's kind of demeaning in a way.
She can do our laundry then.
There is too much arguing going on and not enough cooperation, and I really blame it on that chart.
Yeah, because it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I tell myself to get off the games.
Oh, whatever. You stupid.
In Ohio, Greg heads off to work. But hark, 'tis left to Lady Lisa to rouse the young stampers with a gentle melody.
I'd rather be catching the sports highlights this morning.
Next, public school teacher Lisa has to oversee the stampers' 3 hours of homeschooling.
This has got to be the most boring thing for kids. There's no interaction. There's no excitement. So you guys make your own schedule, basically.
No, we go from 10 till 1. And
That's like only 3 hours. 3 hours of schooling. 3 hours of schooling.
After dropping Alexandria at school, Stephanie's hectic schedule continues as she has to teach Lisa's public school class.
Good to see you today. A little bit apprehensive because I really don't know what I'm getting into because even though I teach, it's just a couple of kids. Anybody interested in history? I'm sorry, excuse me. We need to turn the phone on. Young man, I want you to sit over there. Thank you. Excuse me. All right, that is enough. Come here, right now. I have never been treated that disrespectfully. That is why I homeschool. My children are not part of that. I've had enough.
In Ohio, Lisa discovers that Tara and Damon barely even leave the home and occupy themselves with unusual hobbies.
hopefully what we'll do is we'll send robots to Mars first, and then we'll get them to build a habitat with us.
There's so much for these kids to try to be a part of. They need to find other activities outside the home. Do you go outside at all?
We don't go outside.
But why won't you?